Fuck, I was the only coach today.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, your go-to source for everything on the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether you're a diehard motherfucker like me, or just getting to know Raider Nation, our passionate hosts are here to bring you all the excitement on Raiders football. I'm Shit Show Joe, and welcome to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Let's go. If not, fuck your team.
What up, baby? It's your boy Raider Will with the Silver and Black Radio Podcast and the most notorious crew. Hey, we are here. I am here with my co-captain of the ship. It's Matty B. What's going on, baby?
What up, fam? How's everybody doing there, man? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Hey, lots of stuff going on with Raider Nation. And tonight, man, we got a special guest, Matty B, another heavyweight in the game, a guy that has been helping us out, cutting new ways through the YouTube world, man. A guy that we met on the East Coast. A band that needs no introduction, a true heavyweight of the game. Our boy, 401 Raider Jeff. He has a little bit of an echo, so he'll be muting and unmuting. So, hey, let's go.
What's up, everybody? That's one way to control how much I talk, right?
What up, Jeff?
What's going on, everybody? Cheers.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us, brother. You are one of a kind. You know that we love you, man, and we wanted just to bring you on because you have such great expertise. Matty B's in the building. Lots of things happening on today, man. We are on day 7 of camp. Guys, this is a freaking non-padded day. So it wasn't a day that we're going to go look at and say, hey, you know, like, did we get any mauling? Did we get anything? But a lot of things happened, man. Hey, just so you guys know, hey, it was a little bit windy. But, hey, the Raiders did sign. Raiders add running back Dare Ungwale for the third depth position and special teams. Guys, does this mean that Dylan Labe is gone? Hey, we're going to start with our special guest, Jeff. Go ahead. Let me know what you think, brother.
I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on him because I hear he's fighting to stay on this roster. He adds value on special teams, but I don't think special teams alone is going to be enough to keep him here this year. I mean, we already let Collier go, so that's one of the remaining backs that's been on this roster for the last few years. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It depends on how much they're going to count on this new guy they brought in. I don't really even know much about him. I mean, I know Labe is clawing and scratching to stay there. Whether he can keep his grip on that spot, who knows? I think what it really is, though, too, is there's more competition for the special teams on returns, too, now, with some of the talent we brought in, whether through the draft or free agency. So it remains to be seen. You know, I mean, he could be the next one gone. Very positive or possible.
No, absolutely, my brother. Matty B, your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, Jeff pretty much nailed it. But I think this is just Lobby's, final prove it year, man. And if you don't make it, I think he's gone, man. Like, he's had too many chances, I've seen a couple games where he fumbles the ball, and it's, first chance he gets, goes out there, ball's fumbled. He's got to have better ball control and things like that. So yeah, this is a make it or break it year for him. If you don't live up to it, man, next man up. So yeah.
I'm there with you guys, man. When I look at this young man, all I'm looking at is a depth piece at third string, right? So that to me means Dylan Labe, hey, all those guys that are at the third string, Hemby, bro, you're on alert. But it's amazing to me how many running backs we have brought in. This was not a position that I thought we would be bringing in this many guys. So I'll be like, is there something that we're not seeing, Jeff? Do you think that we have that third running back is something that's missing from this team?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, look at the situation we were in last year. I mean, you had Genti as the starter, you had Mostert back there, and then you had Collier was the one that kind of really got more of a chance back there than Labe. I mean, Labe had his turns and everything, but I think they're just looking for a little bit more depth in the running game on players they can count on. You know, I mean, you've got Mike Washington, who it's pretty much solidified his spot as the number 2, I feel. Now you're going to fight for number 3 possibly with Hemby as the next guy up. Lobby's still there, and then Ooga Booga Wooga, whatever you however you pronounce his name. I don't even want to try and pronounce it. You know, they brought him in, so it's basically, I think it's him and Lobby and Hemby fighting for that 3rd spot, and whoever odd man out's going to be on the practice squad, and one guy's going to get waived or cut, whatever. You know, so it's definitely a depth issue. You know, you want more talent back there as a backup. You know, or change a pace style back.
I don't see Lowry being put to the practice squad. I would see him just being straight cut, honestly. So I mean, it's like I said, it's on him. You know, he's the one that's got to fix it. So if he wants to be there, he's got to figure out what he needs to do to stay there.
No, absolutely, man. Hey, I'm gonna go to the chat right now. Hey, we got our boy Ayo Anthony, Raider Jeff. What up, nation? Salute. Hey, we got. It says so. Jeff says salute back. Hey, we got Big Luck. He says, "What's up, baby?" We got Big Luck says, "Y'all are late." Yes, we were, bro. We were working on some technical difficulties. Hey, Batty B was late. We all have. Hey, he says it's because you're making the kids run so much at practice, Matt. You need to slow it down with them kids.
Sorry, I'll get out of there next week. I'll be here by 7:30 so we can start at 8.
Yo, Alex says, "What up, nation?"
What up? What up?
Says, "What up, Raider Jeff? What's going on, baby?" We got Big Luck says, "Haynes is king, better than AOC." Welcome, Matty B. Says, "Did he just call Jeff a heavyweight?" Yes, we did, man. He is a heavyweight in real life and a heavyweight in the game. We all know this, baby. You know what it is.
Fat shaming me.
Oh, man. Hey, we got Nation. We got, hey, what up, Ardell? What's going on, baby? Big Luck says, Cheeto says, Labe is on insurance. What? Insurance license is getting his.
Because he's going to be selling life insurance soon. He's not going to be on the team.
Hey, you might not be lying there, bro. This is why we're saying, hey, all these 3rd string running backs coming in, that means somebody's job's on the line. That to me, it's telling me that we don't see that 3rd string running back or that 3rd down back that we can get the ball to in open space, get him open, maybe give Genty a breather and give Mike Washington a breather. So that is kind of concerning to me. But we'll see what happens, man. It says FARBs are a dime a dozen. Absolutely, Ardell, especially at depth. I see Dylan. Okay. I'm like, hey, man, we got a lot. And it says,
Stop Tokyo.
Tokyo, right? It says, what's good, nation? Hey, thank you guys so much, man. Hey, like we said, hey, this whole thing of us bringing in another running back to me, again, just gives me a little alert because it tells me that we still haven't found that 3rd down back. But guys, I'm going to give you guys some positive news coming out of camp, which happens every year. I'd be like, hey, if I didn't hear this every year that the Raiders offense either looks really good or the Raiders defense looks really good, fuck, I might buy into some crap. But hey, guys, from what we're hearing, Kirkko and Bowers' connection is burning up camp. Brock Bowers seems to be open on every play. They're saying this camp, he had a drive where he caught the ball 3 balls consecutively. Matty B, tell me, is this something that you can see happening in the regular season? Is this going to be his go-to? Is this Mr. Dependable for Kirkko? Or, yeah.
Yeah, man, he's been our blanket receiver for the last couple seasons since he's been here, man. Like, he's our go-to, our number 1. I mean, Tucker is our number 1, but Bowers is our number 1. Like, that's the guy they're targeting, if they can. I think, dude, I think it's gonna be, I think he could have a 1,000-yard season this year, honestly. So, I think he could, man. I think it could be a great season for him, man.
Yo, so I'm going to ask you this, Jeff. Do you see this actually being a connection that can work in the regular season? Because we're talking preseason, right? And I get what Matty B's cooking, but can this last into the regular season?
The connection between Kirk and Bowers?
And they keep cooking.
I think so. Why would you not want to get the ball in the hands of, excuse me, of your number one player? I mean, he's your number one playmaker, plain and simple. Even more reliable than our running back. I mean, he's the guy you want to get the ball in his hands. You know, if all else fails, throw to Brock, plain and simple. You know, your chance of moving that ball down the field relies on him being open and Kirk being able to get the ball to him, provided he's got the protection up front. So ultimately, everything starts with that line again. Just like I've been saying, you know, that line protects Kirk. Kirk's going to cook, and Bowers is going to have a really good year. I expect Bowers to go back to his rookie form is what I'm expecting from him. With the way this offense is built, the way Kubiak's going to hopefully use him in that manner, he's your number one threat. No questions asked. You know, he's the guy. So I expect a successful connection between those two, without a doubt. I think no matter who's back there for quarterback, they're going to develop a connection with him. They have to. They have to. That's like not throwing to Jerry Rice when Jerry Rice was in his prime. Why are you not throwing to him? He's your guy. He's the offense. Brock Bowers is the offense right now. He's the only reliable thing on this roster on the offensive side. Sorry, Genty fans. I'm sorry. It's Brock Bowers.
And you know what, Jeff? I would tend to agree with you. My biggest concern is coming from this, right? In 2024, the Raiders were considered, like we kept hearing in camp, that this defense was really, really good, that we were shutting people down, that we were doing this and that. But the truth of the reality was just that our offense was really, really bad, as you got the Karate Kid catching mosquitoes, or I don't know what he just did.
You do that with blow darts too, or what?
Swipe it right out of the air.
Where's the blow?
I got fast hands for a big guy. Don't forget.
No, 100%, man. Hey, so that's what I'm saying, Jeff. So that's where my biggest concern comes from. That we're literally looking at it. Is it our defense is so bad that Brock Bowers seems to be open every play? Or is it that our offense is that good? Those are the questions I have, right? So that's why I was looking at that question, and that's why I asked it, because I said, man, it sounds fantastic that we're kicking ass and taking names, and I can see this happening in the regular season. But what happens when we line up against another team's ones and they take this guy away and they start double teaming? Are we going to be able to keep that hot streak going? Those are all questions that we still have to ask. All right, guys. Hey, just so you guys know, today, man, Kirkko hit Naylor on a big play. But in true Raider fashion, our right tackle, DJ Glaze, gets caught holding. Gets brought back. Let me ask you guys this. While we see a lot of positivity, you know, because I like the fact that we are getting that quarterback to wide receiver connection with Kirkko and Naylor, is there some cause for concern with Glaze having issues with Malcolm Coons, Max Crosby, and getting getting penalties like this on big plays? Matty B, I'll start with you.
I mean, he's going to have problems, bro. I mean, last year was a garbage year that he had under a coach that didn't help coach. So, I mean, this year he's getting some, you know, he's actually getting some real coaching. So, I mean, of course he's going to have flaws, man. He's not going to come in here knowing every step, you know, what he needs to do, where he's got to go, who he's got to block, things like that, on what play, this and that. So, you know, he's going to have flaws, man. And expect that. You know what I mean? It's going to happen this year. So, I mean, the only thing you can do is just fix it, you know? So.
No, absolutely. And you know what? Jeff is the king of the O-line. If there was an O-lineman to be drafted, he'd draft 10. Every draft.
I want as many offensive linemen as we can. Never can have never can have too many, as far as I'm concerned.
So go ahead, Jeff. Let us know.
No, No, I mean, I look. It's preseason. It's training camp. It's preseason. Make those mistakes now, man. Get that funk out of you now. You know who cares once the season? What you did in the preseason, what you did in training camp. That's where you're supposed to make the mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. Is it the point that he's that too aggressive sometimes? So if he's having holding calls or shit at the line in practice, I don't care. Just don't let that happen after week one. That's all. From the time the ball's kicked off on week one against Miami for the rest of the season, keep those to an extreme minimal. They're all gonna have them. It happens. What are you gonna do? You can never play a perfect game. Well, you can, but I'm not worried about anything like that. It's nice to see that they made a connection though on the pass, even though it was for nothing. So get it done now, and you'll be good.
And there's where I'm at with it too, Jeff. I look at it. A right tackle gets caught holding in practice. There's holding on every play. I mean, like, if you guys ever watch the NFL or watch a middle school or high school or college game, I guarantee you there's holding on every play. You just got caught. I'm just glad that the effort is there. Bro, there is sometimes we've seen some Raiders offensive linemen that were like, Ole, hey, man, you want a sack? You get a sack. Oh, you want a sack? You get a sack. Oh, you want one too, bro? You take one. I mean, the guy on the bench had a sack. Everybody had a sack some games. So when you look at the effort, right, and that's where a lot of people are talking about these practices with Kubiak, the effort, the intensity, the want, all of those things are there. So, hey, man, I'm all with it. I know that, hey, Jeff just said it. Matty B just said it. Hey, it's going to happen. Guys are going to get caught holding. Things are going to happen. Now, hey, man, Malik Benson today drops a pass, goes into Darian Porter's hands on 7-on-7. This was an interception. This was reported by Jaron Belinas. Malik Benson, man, has made a big name for himself, guys. And we all know that this preseason, he is the hottest name probably coming out of Raiders camp at the wide receiver spot. Let me ask you this. Malik Benson's hands, cause for concern or no cause for concern? Kid just, had a drop today in practice. I'm going to start with Jeff. Go ahead, brother.
It's the same thing as the offensive lineman question. It's for training camp. He's a rookie. He's going to have a little bit of nerves. He'll grow into it. It's another situation where I'm not worried about, if it becomes the norm while he's in practice, then okay, now we got to start thinking otherwise. But if it's like one every now and then, again, I don't think it's a big deal. He's making enough noise to, play himself into the 53 with no problem, from what it sounds like to me. He's going to be one of those late round dark horse candidates that's going to actually contribute to this team this season. I have a strong conviction that he's going to be more reliable than what we drafted last year for wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of him on the field during the season for sure. He's going to be a major contributor. I really feel that way, no matter who's the quarterback. So again, have the drops now, get over the nerves in training camp, be ready by the start of week one, and just give it your all, man. I don't read too much into what goes on in training camp as far as they're dropping this or through interceptions. It's gonna happen. Just don't let it happen when the season starts. That's all I care about.
No, absolutely, man. Hey, Matty B.
I'd fucking cut him, dude. We can't allow this shit, dude. One fucking drop pass. Come on, man. Yeah, cut him.
Silver Smoke with the 420 jewels for Unc Alert.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that, man. Thanks, Silver Smoke.
Nah, man. It's going to happen. It's like Jeff was saying, it's going to happen. He's a rookie, man. So don't read too much into it. It's just training camp. So don't let it happen again.
It's DEFCON 5, baby. This is Raider Nation. You drop one pass in practice, we're cutting you and we're shipping you the other way. We're looking for trade picks right now.
Yep.
I'm like, no, man. Hey, I'm with you guys. Malik Benson has been an absolute star. And what I like, man, is that I already see it here. You know what? Some of us are realistic with it. It says here, Jason Marshall comes out and says, not one player is having a perfect camp. It's how you respond and you stack good days together. Absolutely agree, man. We have to chill on Benson, though. This is coming from Big Luck. And let me ask you guys this. Are we hyping Benson too much? I'll be like, is this hype train way overdone? Because he said, hey, man, last year we said the same thing about Thornton. And then he couldn't catch a thing. He can't even catch a cold now. I mean, my man is on special teams, and we'll bring that up later, trying to make the team as a gunner. So, guys, what do you guys think? Is it too early? Is this hype train too high for Malik Benson? Or is it validated? And Matt, I'll start with you.
I think every rookie coming into the NFL is on hype. You know what I mean? If you get drafted with, high pick, they expect everything from you, they want you to play perfect, but it ain't going to happen, so, I think people read into a lot of things, and I don't know, man, like it is what it is, some people just read into it too much, just let it go. We'll see what happens when the season comes, you know what I mean? So, I mean, right now it's just all talk, man. Like you could say, Fernando Mendoza is having a great offseason. He's going to be the starting quarterback. But you know what? At the end of the day, he's probably not ready. So, all the rookies are going to have flaws. They're going to have things they got to fix. They're not going to come in here and be perfect. Even the best players right now that were rookies didn't come in and fucking peel it off the top. You know what I mean? Like they had to take their time. So.
So I'll ask Jeff. Same question. Is the hype train too high?
Well, I want to handle the first part of this question first that you asked, or mentioned about the hype on Thornton last year. Okay. First of all, where did the hype come from last year? Didn't come from, I don't remember it coming from any coaches or any of these analysts sitting there. You know where it came from? It came from fans watching in the stands during these training camps last year, saying how great he looked. He looks like the next Megatron. Okay, well, first of all, he ain't built like the next Megatron because the guy's built like a toothpick. Okay, so he ain't out muscling anybody for any type of jump balls. The guy's got no muscle on him. Well, that's just it. He's muscle and bones. There ain't no meat on him. There's nothing to the kid. So the hype was prefabricated by fans just watching what they saw in practice. With Benson, I think it's the fact that he's. Yeah, maybe hype from the fans, but I have more respect for this coaching staff if they're talking highly about him and how he's getting involved versus the coaching staff last year talking about players, about how they look good. I don't believe half the shit that came out of training camp from the coaching staff last year. This year, I have a lot more respect for these coaches, and I would take more of what they're bringing up, what they're talking about at their press conferences after practices, and if they're hyping up this kid, then obviously they see something. I trust Kubiak's talent judgment a lot better than what we had last year. I don't know what Pete was looking at half the time last season, because there were some guys that should have been playing way earlier in the season that didn't get a shot until late. And when they finally did get a shot, they looked, in my opinion, I think they looked decent enough to have been started earlier. And when I say that, I'm talking about Caleb Rogers, Grant, these guys should have been in sooner last year. So I'm not saying it's a hype on them. I think the coaches, they're seeing what they're seeing. Look, first of all, our wide receiver room is crap. Before we drafted, we had a crappy wide receiver room. We still do, but it's actually starting to look like it's going to take shape a little bit. So I'm starting to have a little more faith. I mean, if he's out there playing with the ones and getting, more involved with Kirk Cousins throwing in the ball, it's only going to lead to bigger and better things this season. I have zero faith in Thornton. I have more faith in Benson right now, to be honest with you. I think he's a lot more rounded wide receiver than Thornton. So, and what's up, Bueno? I see you, brother.
No, and you know what? I agree with you there. I think the hype train is not overly done on Malik Benson because of the wide receiver, because it's so weak that if we see any spark come from the wide receiver room, we automatically go like Raider Nation, right? Overreaction. We're like, oh yeah, baby, we got one. He's gonna be the next Tim Brown. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Pump the brakes. Let's hold on. Let's see what Malik Benson does. But you know what? I am excited for this kid because I think he's going to be great on third down situations and special teams. I think he's going to bring a little bit different aspect to the game, and we'll see what he does, man. But hey, guys, just a little bit of news for you guys as well. Like I said, hey, Dante Thornton, seen trying to make the team as a gunner. Guys, this guy was a draft pick for us just a couple years ago. Now we're seeing him go all the way down to being a gunner. Guys, is this a concern for you guys, seeing how many Raiders players just seem to not be able to maintain on the roster? You know, we see a lot of guys that are, you know, second-round draft picks that are struggling to, you know, crack the starting lineup. Is this a cause for concern for you guys? Jeff, I'm going to start with you.
That he's being possibly going to be a special teamer, or I honestly feel that he may be a long shot to make the 53.
Yep.
Seriously, and you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm standing on that, to be honest with you. I think there's guys in this roster now in the wide receiver room that are more talented. So yeah, he's trying to make the team any way he can. I don't know how good he's going to be as a gunner. He's got the speed, but does he have the ability to take somebody down? You know, that's the big thing. You know, can he handle tackling somebody without breaking a bone? He's going to be coming in full speed, and is he going to put his body on the line like that? You know, is he going to do one of those Olays because he's going up against, you know, a running back that's got a lot more power? You know, is he going to make that tackle? Can he make that tackle? You know, it's not an easy transition for such a small guy. He's tall, but there ain't much to him. I mean, he's right now number 2. He's the second stringer behind Betch now. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's cut. Put him on the practice squad. Somebody will grab him because he may work better in a different system. I just don't think he's fit for this team. Definitely didn't show anything last year. He was too inconsistent when he did get a chance to get out there. And he was slated as a starter. You know, so special teams, good luck, buddy.
Yep. So, Matt, same question for you, my brother.
Yeah, man, this goes back to the hype train, you know, where like Jeff was saying, all the fans, they're the ones hyping them up. They're the ones saying this, and that. And it also goes back to these guys don't get trained properly anymore. You know what I mean? They're expected to come in at a high draft pick and continue to change a team in 1 year. And then, you know, his hype last year of he's really good. He's going to be the number 1, this and that. He could be that guy, you know, and then we see, you know, he's not, he's got a lot of work to do still. So, so does Besh and so does Benson. They all have work to do. So they're all fighting for that number 3 spot right now. So, you know, who's going to get it? I think it's a concern for him. I don't think it's a concern for the team, but I think it's a concern for him if he wants to stay a part of this team. If not, like Jeff said, I think he goes to a practice squad, and I don't think he stays there. I think some other team will eventually pick him up, but he's got a lot of work to do, man. He's not going to go with any other team and continue to just start right away. He's going to have to learn their system and do what they do and get better at his craft.
No, absolutely.
So fans, quit hyping up players until they get out there and actually play.
You know, hey, I'm gonna tell you something though, man. I think Benson was a victim of what you guys just said, that the hype train, right, by the fans. Like we overhyped him because we saw a 6'4" receiver that could run like the wind. And everybody goes, oh man, we could just throw the ball deep and he'll just get open and he'll run away from people.
Yeah, because Darius Hayward-Bay did that all the time for us.
Oh my gosh. You know, but when we look at that, right, guys, my biggest cause for concern here is that I continue to see picks that we have made in the top 4 rounds, in the top 2 rounds, in the top 3 rounds, struggling to stay on this roster, struggling to continuously stay on this team more than 1 or 2 years, 3 years max. When you and I know that we need all those guys to be on this team for years to come, to have a great base to build the future for this team.
Well, you got to also have coaches too, man. We can't be changing coaches every other year either and expect these guys to learn a new system every year. You know what I mean? So consistency with the coaches is where it starts, you know, to make the players consistent.
Consistency and continuity too. That's the other thing. The repetition of being year after year with the same guys. That's how you get better. You don't get better by constantly swapping people in and out. You know, that's why I give Kubiak a free pass this year. I'm sorry. No matter how bad we look and how bad we are out there this year, you can't turn around. The fans will still say it. They'll still scream it. Oh, we got to fire him. You know, he's bad yet. No, shut up. Stop that.
No, absolutely. But all right, guys, let me move on to the next thing here. Hey, just so you guys know, Michael Mayers is back at practice today. This was reported by Jarin Vallinas. This is an absolute great thing, I think. I know that you guys, you know, hey, just regular news, nothing to talk about. But here it is, man. This is the real big subject for today. A lot of people were talking about it, and I want your guys' opinion. The hot topic, JPJ and Caleb Rogers exchange reps at right guard. Is this the position is heating up? Is JPJ possibly not going to play right guard? Or is this a move for versatility to look at what Caleb Rogers can do to see if he can be in there? That is what the offensive line coach, Rico, said today. You know, Rick Dennison, he said, hey, man, we're just looking at their versatility, or I believe it was Mike McCoy, to see what they can do. But, guys, let me know what you guys think. Matty B, I know that you're not the offensive line guy, so I'm going to start with you.
The phone call that came in right at the same time. I'm sorry.
All right. So, did you hear so you're good. I'm going to start with you, bro. Hey, JPJ, Caleb Rogers exchange reps. Is this a position heat up, or is this a versatility move? There's multiple reports have come out. So what do you think?
I think it's competition for sure, man. I think both of them are fighting for that spot, man. And that's good, you know. I think JPJ can play any spot on the line. So I think, honestly, to tell you the truth, like, he could go to left guard. He could go to, you know, other spots if we needed to. But I think I think it's more. Yeah, I think it's a competition, bro. I really do. I really think it's going to be a competition, and they're going to find it out. The winner's going to take it. So.
All right. Jeff, what do you think?
Well, what have I said on shows in the past that I've been on with you? I've said it on the Most Notorious before about JPJ, if you remember.
Availability is the best thing you can have.
That's part of it. But didn't I come out one time or multiple times on shows with you and Leo and everybody about how maybe JPJ is not as good as we all think he is?
Yes.
Right. I have said that.
I've heard you say that.
So I'm sticking by that. Maybe he's not. Maybe they're seeing some deficiencies by him where it's causing him to have a competition for that position. Am I surprised? Not at all. Not one bit. I think his head is still maybe a little messed up from the way that he was treated last year. I think they really fucked with his head, and it caused issues for him, which is why he was constantly bounced around that offensive line. And it's not fair to him. I'm not blaming him for that. I'm blaming the coaching staff last year. So them having some sort of competition for that right guard spot, I'm not shocked at all. I honestly think that he might not even make the starting five out there. I think Caleb Rogers could come in and really push him for it. And the other issue is his health. Can he stay away from getting a concussion? And it's not, again, because he's such an aggressive player. So he goes out there and he plays till that whistle blows. He's got the hustle, but there's something, they must be seeing something that's causing this issue. Well, not this issue, but this competition. So I'm not surprised. I'm really not. When I saw you put that up there and I heard reports, I'm like, I'm not shocked. And I knew this was going to be a big topic tonight. And some people will totally disagree with me. And that's fine. That's your opinion. I got my opinion. But it's not like I'm just jumping out there saying this. I've been saying this for a while, that maybe he's not the guy we thought he was. Maybe he just got lucky his rookie year. And he just happened to be in a good position at that point because based on our offensive line, we had crap. Our offensive line didn't. So, of course, he's going to look better than what we had, But last year, for him to be replaced by Kappa, I mean, come on. The guy that was graded the worst offensive guard in the NFL the season before, and he takes your job at center. Come on. The guy that really played guard more than anything, and all of a sudden he's the center for the team, and you, who was the starting center for the second half of the season the year before, and you get bumped by this guy. I know he's got the experience because of how long he's been in the NFL versus the other guys, but come on. Something's wrong. Something's off with him. So I don't see us cutting him. I don't see us trading him because he's a good depth piece if we need him to come in. I will give him that.
Wasn't there rumors that he was having trouble picking up the offensive defensive calls? What it was.
When he was the center. Yep. And that was the problem. It was to the point where they had Kappa as the right guard calling out the audibles for the offensive line. You can't do that. It's going to be your center. Your center has to be the guy that's the quarterback of that offensive line. He's the guy that everybody on that front five looks to. And you have to be that guy. You can't just say, well, I'm your starting center, and then just leave it at that and go out and just think that you can just hit people. If you can't read the defense and you can't audible right, then you're no good. You're not made for that position. Now it's time to move on. So when you've got your right guard in the middle of a game calling out the audibles, that's not good. It needs to be your center. He's the guy, So I'm not shocked. I'm really not. And I love the kid. I think the kid's a hell of a player. He's got that. He's the closest thing that I've seen with the tenacity to like a Steve Wisniewski or an Incognito type of guy where he just wants to hit people. He just wants to be that violent guy out there from when the ball snapped till the whistle blows. And that's what this team needs. But if it's not working out where he's not blocking right, or there's something that's, again, that they're seeing that's causing this competition, then I trust Dennison. I'm sorry. I trust Dennison 100%. And if that's what he's doing, then he's doing it for a reason. He ain't doing it just to make Caleb Rogers happy.
No, you're absolutely correct, man. And when we're looking at it right now, what I think and I love, it's competition, baby. That's exactly what this team needs. Finally, we're not going there and handing out positions and being like, you're a starter because of your name. You're a starter because of your name. Coach is going, I don't care what your name is. I don't care where you've played. I don't care where you've come from. You're on this team, and we're going to figure out what's the best lineup for this team. Now, hey, man, 805 says those guys are all bums, baby. None of those damn guys matter.
We didn't cut Meredith yet. Why not?
It's taking over all those names. What's going on?
And Jason Marshall said it perfect right there in his chat message. I trust a coach that brings 4 Super Bowls himself. Absolutely. You're bringing in an old school offensive. And I talked about this last night with the cage match with Savage. You're bringing in a guy that's got the history that he has, an old school offensive line coach like that. I have all the faith in the world with this guy that he can turn this offensive line around. So again, if he's putting a competition out there, then he sees that there needs to be a competition. They need to find their starting five. They cannot do what they did last year with this offensive line. 100%. They need to nail those five, set those guys in stone, unless an injury happens. And those are the guys you roll into at the start of the season. And if they play together throughout the preseason, that's fine. But those are the five that you got to go through. You have to have that starting five set by week one. You cannot wait and come out and say, like Carroll, well, this is a competition. We don't know who our starting five are on the line. Could take days, could take weeks, could take months into the season. Well, it took months. It took till the end of the season before they finally figured out who the starting five was. There was never a set five every week. It was always different. Every goddamn week, it was always different. How are you going to have continuity in the running game or in the pass protection game, the passing game, when you can't even get the same five guys out there on the offensive line from the start of the game to the end, game to game? You keep swapping them, you're going to have this problem. So you can't do that. You can't swap out offensive linemen like you do defensive tackles based on the set that the offense is running, or secondary guys going from nickels to dime packages, shit like that. You can't do that on the offensive line. You cannot go out there and, oh, Colt Miller, you're out for this play. We're going to put Grant out there because we're just going to switch it up a little bit. No, fuck that. You stay out there. Those are your five. You go with it. That's why it gets me aggravated when I see how bad our line was last year, and I have all the faith on this coach correcting this shit. And I pray to God that set five is it, barring any injuries on that line. So.
No, absolutely. Hey, and I'm going to hit you with this, Jeff. Let me see here what just came out. Robert Davila says, every coach we've had has won a Super Bowl, and we still can't help this organization. My ass. Absolutely, man. It's not easy. People think coming from a coordinator spot, being the head coach, is easy, and he ain't wrong. But I'd be like, hey, man, we're hoping that this coach makes that change and that he gives us that success. And a Big Luck says, that's why Jeff wanted to draft nothing but O-line.
2 drafts in a row. I didn't want Genti and I didn't want Mendoza. So I'm leaving it at that.
No. And then Roshad says the starting five will be known by week 3 in the preseason. This coaching staff actually knows what they're doing. Agreed? Agreed. Hey, man. So, all right, guys, let's move on to the next thing. I know that was going to be one of the bigger talking points, but hey, Tomka Hemingway, guys, has now emerged as a defensive tackle that is wrecking stuff in practice, that is moving JPJ, that is challenging offensive linemen. Hey, I love me a big sexy up front, baby, especially a mauler, a destroyer, a disruptor. Is this big news for the Raiders? Matt, I'll start with you.
Well, yeah, we need that dude up on that defensive line, bro. We need all the defensive line we can get to help out Max, bro. So I've always thought, like last year when he finally got his playing time, he was doing pretty decent in there. I think he deserves, like he should have been playing last year a little more than he did. I think he's got a really high upside on him too. So I'm really liking the fact that, this is what's coming out. But then again, it's all hype. It's all hype. So we'll see. You know what I mean? And is this the starting set? Is this the starting five on the line? Is this what we're going to set with? I mean, how's he doing against the other players? You know what I mean? He's pushing JPJ around, but we don't even know what's going on with this guy right now. Or really how good he is. So, we got to see. It's just it's a lot of talk right now, but I really think this dude's got that it when it comes to being a defensive lineman. I think this guy can actually get a spot on the roster and run with it.
Oh, I got you, baby. Hey, 805 Big Luck says, hey, he might be better than Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Man, hey, we'll see what happens, baby. Jeff,
you're gonna piss him off.
What do you think, Jeff?
In all honesty, you're talking about a second-year guy that's doing what he was doing with JPJ supposedly. I didn't see it, so I don't know. I'm just going by what I hear and what I've seen from, what other people are talking about. And maybe that's why there's a competition for that position. If he's beating out a guy that's, a third year guy with us, and he's getting beat by a guy that's a second year, which was a spot player last year, and down the stretch, he played very well last season. He's coming in and having that type of impact on, one of our supposed starters that's supposed to be one of our guys. Maybe that's why there's a competition, because Tomka's just wreaking havoc out there. I love it. I think it's great we need one of these guys to finally step up that we drafted. It's about time we have a tackle that we drafted become something for this team. And if he's the guy until we finally get Vita Vea, that's fine. I want Vea so bad. I know that's going to probably be coming up, so I don't want to ruin it. But, hey, does him stepping up make Butler expendable? Sorry, 805.
Probably not.
I mean, that's something you got to think about. Does that make Booker expendable, where we could think about moving him as part of this deal to get someone?
That could be interesting.
I think it's awesome that this young kid is making that kind of an impact. I love it. That's what I want to see. I want to see these second-year guys step up. We need these guys to step up. We need these draft picks to hit.
Mm-hmm.
We draft them for a reason.
Even some of these guys we've had, they need to start stepping it up too, man. Like, we've heard hype for them. Some of them, like JPJ, third-year man. Start stepping it up, man. You've got to step it up.
Flowers, he's got to step up. I mean, come on, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, I know. Come on, dude. I'm about ready to trade that guy too.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, the Chargers ain't getting him, so stop it. Supercharged.
Oh shoot.
Hey.
Nope. Yo, 805 says, I see that, Big Luck. Hey, you're pushing your luck with that absolute nonsense. No mas. But hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. What I like is this: that Tomka Hemingway emerging is fucking awesome, because this guy was a later round draft pick that is now making an impact on the Raiders. How many times have we heard that in the past 5 to 6 years, that a late round draft pick, besides Max Crosby, right? Because he was late, is now making an impact on this team, and that can actually stay on this roster for more. That is a huge thing. And at the end of the day, man, having our young talent grow up and develop is fucking awesome.
Just real quick, Carolina just won. The Haynes King, the quarterback for Carolina, just ran the touchdown in to win the game at the end.
Oh shit! I fucking forgot that game was on. See,
quarterbacks in this game played damn good. Yeah, these quarterbacks look pretty. Carson Beck, man, doesn't look that bad out there.
Preseason is on, baby.
I forgot all about that game tonight, man.
Yeah, it just ended 33-30. Carolina won.
Oh man, hey, Rocha says, I do hope that 401 Raider Jeff is wrong about Genty and Mendoza. I know he'll eat crow when it becomes a reality.
I hope I am wrong. I don't want to be right about early draft picks being busts or not living up to their fullest potential. I don't want to be right when it comes to that. I want them to be successful, because if they suck, then we're going to continue to suck, and we're going to continue having bad first round draft picks, as like we have in the past. There's very few first round draft picks that we've had that hit. We need these two to be the future of this team, for like the next 10 years, at least 10 years. They both need to stay. If we don't turn it around, comes the 5-year extension possibility for Brock, we could lose him too. He may want to get out of here if we're not still in that position to win. These guys aren't going to hang forever.
That's why we get tagged.
Hey, guys, we're going to move on from Tomka. Another good thing coming from the defensive line group today: Coons and Max Crosby creating pressure. Multiple reports coming out that Coons is maybe hitting back that stride, getting back to what he used to be. Yo, Can this be the difference maker? Can this be the year that Max has a partner? Hey, Jeff, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the defense overall has been upgraded. On paper, we look like an absolute winning defense right now. What they're doing in practice so far, it's good to hear. Obviously, especially with Coons. Max, you already know what you're going to get with him. I'm not worried about that. It looks like his knee's holding up, so he's making the cuts. He's doing good with that. But it's the Coons stepping up, I think, is a big factor here. You know, you've got Coons, you got Kwity Paye, you got Crawford that's going to have an impact on this. You've got 4 good ends now that we can move guys around. And that's what Leo said when he was at the practice the other day. The defense isn't going to be like a set 3-4, 4-3. He goes, they're moving them around the line. Like, you don't know where Max is going to be. Kwity Paye was moving around. So it's not like they're playing set positions like they were in the past. They're not telegraphing what they're doing. They're moving guys, and just before the ball snap, they're moving. And so it's going to be a confusing defense. And I can see a guy like Mendoza being a rookie having a hard time recognizing that when he gets up to the line. So, you know, it's not going to be easy. It's a tough thing for him to learn, first of all, and then to see the defense shifting like that and everything, he's probably not going to be used to that. So just think of some of these younger quarterbacks in this league. Now you've got Max that you're always worried about. Well, we're going to move him around now, so you don't know where he's coming from. We're adding Coons into the mix, which, like you said, 2 years removed now, which is when they start to really fully get back to what we're expecting of him. And he's on a one-year deal, so he has to show it this year. If he doesn't show it, we're not going to bring him back again. This is it. He's got this one shot with us, and then he's moving on. You know, Kwity Paye was brought in for a reason. Kwity Paye came in after we traded Max away as like the possible next best thing that we can have to replace a Max, bringing him in. You know, now you're bringing this rookie with Crawford, who's making some noise. So that defense is going to be completely different this year. I mean, it was already different from the time that Max left to the time he came back. That defense got overhauled in 3 days. You know, between the free agents we brought in, it's like Max is sitting in Baltimore going, damn, they got a whole new defense over there after I left. The guys that I want to come in and help me and back me up, they bring in after I'm gone. So he comes back to a completely different defense. So yeah, Max should eat this year because he's not going to be the only guy they have to worry about. You know, he's got that partner, like you said. So I'm excited for the front. I hopefully Max is what I'm expecting him to put him into that, what they consider an elite status, you know, where he earns that number 4 ranking that they gave him, which I still think is too high. I think he's like around 6 or 7. I don't think he's number 4 overall. You know, can he be? Hell yeah. You know, so I'm looking forward to what they're going to do up front. And Coons stepping up, I think that's a huge thing. We didn't hear that last year.
Matty B?
Dude, I think it's great that he's stepping up, man. Like Jeff was saying, you know, we're not playing just the regular, you know, like the 4 down. You know, we're moving guys around. We're putting them in different positions. We want to see the best out of these guys. And the depth, I think we got a really good depth when it comes to our defensive tackles. You know, so maybe not on paper. A lot of people would say no, but I really think we do, man. Like I think we got a good couple quality pieces that we picked up. Kwity Paye, I think that was a really good solid piece that we picked up in free agency for the line. Thomas Booker, I've heard he's doing pretty good too. So I mean, you know, Adam Butler, good, you know. So I mean, some of these guys they're gonna end up, you know, getting cut, you know, or whatever. But I really do like the fact that Coons is stepping up. Stuff that we seen with him and Max before he got injured was pretty cool shit, man. Like stuff we haven't seen in a while for the Raider Nation. And if that comes back to being like that, and you put somebody like a Tomka Hemingway, Adam Butler, something like that in the middle, dude, I mean, you ain't fucking with that defensive line, bro. Like there's not, and then the linebackers, I mean, shit, dude, we've got some pretty decent linebackers with a little bit of depth now that we didn't have a couple years ago. And with Crawford stepping up, and then, you know, Eichenberg, I think Eichenberg this is probably going to be his year too. You know, he's what, a 3rd-year guy again? Is he a 3rd year or 4th-year guy?
Tommy Eichenberg, I think he's like a 2nd or 3rd-year guy.
Yeah, okay. So I think he's probably in a third year, I think. But yeah, anyways, if he steps up this year too, man, we got depth. And this is something that we've lacked a lot for a long time is depth. And these guys stepping up and Malcolm Coons, I mean, I can't wait to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the shit that we seen when we had AP as coach. You know what I mean? That was just it felt like something.
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. Are you kidding me, baby? This is fucking fantastic. The Raiders need this, man. We're talking about Tomka Hemingway emerging. We're talking about Coons coming back with the swagger. We're talking about Max Crosby supposedly flying around. And even if Jeff ranks him in his top 10, that means something's wrong. That means freaking something is on fire there because Jeff didn't even have him in his top 10 this year. Said, hey, man, Max wasn't even in my top 10 DNs. Now he has him in his top 7. We have a lot of positivity coming from that defensive line. And it's like you guys said, no offense is going to be able to predict what we're going to do. Are we going to be in a 40 front? Are we going to be in a 30 front? In a 50? In amoeba defense? There's a lot of versatility happening, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later because we had a player come out and say, I have played more positions at this time on this defense than I have ever played in my life. So that just goes to show you guys the versatility that this defense is going to bring, man, and how we're going to use these guys in different ways. Arnie has a question for you guys. Who is the biggest factor on offense and defense that will help our team take a big leap to wins? So, Matt, I'll start with you. You give me an offensive guy, and we'll get Jeff, and he'll give us a defensive guy. Matt, I'll start with you.
An offensive guy that can lead us in this year? Like, are you talking like
take us?
It doesn't have to be a rookie.
Any guy.
Just any guy.
Yeah.
Biggest X factor on offense, man. It's gonna be Kirk Cousins, man. Like it's gonna be Kirk Cousins. It's got to be him. Depending on how well our line plays, it really rests on his shoulders, in my opinion. So that's my guy. That's my X factor for offense. It would have to be Kirk Cousins.
All right. Hey, give me the X factor on defense there. Jeff, what do you got?
On defense?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like one of the two linebackers, whether it's Walker or Dean. I mean, that's a huge upgrade from what we had last year. I think you can't really pick one or the other. I think it's a toss-up between the two of them. Just that linebacker position itself, it's light years away from what we had last year. Last year, we had guys that were there that shouldn't have been even in those positions. They played, they tried, but I think it's going to be the line. Because, again, everybody's going to, well, what about Max? Max is Max. We already know what we're going to get from him. I don't consider him to be an X factor. I think the big difference is what we got in linebackers, how much they can cover sideline to sideline. What they can do with that front line in front of them. They can have a little bit more freedom to do their thing. What you really see in old school linebacking play. I think you're finally going to see it. Yeah, what's up, Leo?
We are talking a little smack. It took a little bribing to get the worldwide 401 Raider Jeff over here, on the show. So he says I hit the target. Hey, but guys, like we said, those were the biggest X factors that you guys see. Now we talked about the versatility. We talked about the changing of the groups. But one side note I want to bring up, K'Ron Crawford got banged up in practice today. Multiple reports came up. We hope he's doing well. I'd be like kind of odd because today was a non-padded practice. So hopefully it's not one of those serious non-freaking contact injuries. But guys, Quay Walker came out. This is what Jeff just attested to, saying, I played more positions than I ever have. This is being reported by Jesse Merrick. Guys, what does this tell you about our defense? What does this tell you about the guys that we think that we know where they're going to line up? So do we really have an idea of what's going to go with this defense? Or are we really going to see an exotic defense coming from the Raiders this year? Hey, Matt, I'll start with you.
I think it's going to be a defense that we haven't seen before, man. It's something, that we ain't talking about a lot of stuff. We just know that people are moving around different positions here and there. The only people that really know and see are the people that are there at the Raiders camp, watching it. But yeah, I think it's something that it's going to kind of peel our wig back, I think, honestly, the way they have it set up. So, I mean, yeah.
So, Jeff?
I agree with Matty. I think this defense is going to be something we haven't seen before. I think it just shows, with what he said, it just shows the versatility of what we can do with these players on this defense. How we can move guys around. You're not going to know who's coming from where. It's going to be a complete guessing game. You can't. How can you pre-plan for something that you don't even know is going to happen until the moment it happens? You can guess that, hey, he may play here, he may play there. Every guy on that offensive line now, whoever we're playing against, they're going to have to realize where Max is. He's going to have to be the first one they're going to have to point out and see where he lines up. And by the time the ball snaps, he can move. I mean, there's so much that can happen with this. And with Quay Walker being moved around as much as he's saying he is, and this goes back to what I said about what Leo mentioned, saying how much the defensive front was being moved around and you didn't know who was coming from where, and they're mixing things up. It's not just a stale defense like we've seen for the last few years. This isn't a Patrick Graham defense. That's not what you're going to see. So what you've seen for the last few years when Patrick Graham was here, forget that crap, because this is going to be a completely different defense. From what I'm hearing, I take everything that Leo said to be true. He was there with Nate, and they saw it firsthand how much they're moving these guys around. So that only says big things to me to come for this defense. And when you get guys in the linebacker position, especially that are that athletic as Walker and Nakobe Dean, that only amplifies how much more you can do. So this defense is going to be exciting. And the way we picked up all these corners and everything and safeties in the draft and the free agency, this defense is something that we have not seen in a long, long time. That's going to just be, you're going to have heavy hitters out there all the way around on this roster. All 11 guys are going to be able to be out there and smacking. This might be going back to his old school defenses I think we've seen in Raiders in a long time. So I'm psyched. I'm more excited for the defense, to be honest with you, than the offense. I really am. I know a lot of people are big on the offense. I'm more excited to see how this defense looks.
I'm with you on that too.
I
Because
agree.
if our defense can hold opposing offenses to less than 21 points, we're in every game at that point. If our offense is supposed to live up to what it's supposed to be. So our defense being able to stop opposing offenses, give our offense a good field position, not turning it, not giving the ball back to us every time on the 5-yard line because our defense is just trash. They're just getting run all over the place. If they can hold some of these offenses, and we got 3 in our own division that are not going to be easy. So let's see how good we are within our own division. So that's what I'm excited for. I want to see what we can do against those offenses and those 3. They're all 3 good head coaches on those teams. So this is going to be interesting. This could be a really exciting season, believe it or not. Do I think we're going to win a shit ton of games? Probably not, but it's going to be
close though. If we're close to one, I'd rather see that than getting blown out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I want to see us be competitive. I don't want to see us get, like you just, I don't want to see us getting blown out every game. I want to see consistency. That's my big thing. I want to see consistency and growth throughout the season where you can see we're getting better, not getting worse or staying the same. I want to see towards the end of the season that we're really fighting for something here, because that only gives you even more hope for next year, because next year is the year where you can start setting your expectations a little higher. You get a full season of Mendoza learning. The defense has a full year to gel with each other. Now you bring them all back next year, guess what? They're only going to be better. This year you've got more guys competing for these positions that they're going to win these positions on the defense, especially where it's going to be almost impossible for anybody you pick up next year to cut into that as starting 11. That's your whole goal, is to continue your starting 11 from this year. So when you go into next season, you get the same 11 guys. Good luck anybody trying to, break that starting lineup, because our starting 11 we went from year to year with are just that good. And good luck trying to get into that, So that's what I want to see. I just want to see that progression.
No, absolutely.
So,
And here's where I agree with Roshan. It says, hopefully we see a defense that nobody else has seen before, and that we are 2 steps ahead of everybody. Now, this is where I think that creativity is going to come into play, right? I love the fact that I'm hearing that guys are being used in different positions, because, again, that makes it harder to account for them. We can use guys at their strengths. We can do different things, and that defensively, man, makes you freaking dangerous, because the offense doesn't know who's coming and who's dropping. And at the end of the day, offensive linemen have to know who they got to block. If they don't know who they got to block, it looks like our offensive line last year. Looks bad. So, guys, another question from Arnie. It says, Leo is buying a Kirk Cousins jersey or an AOC jersey this year. You guys make the choice for him.
AOC.
Daddy B?
AOC.
Hey, baby. Hey, if Leo's on here, baby, hey, you got to get you one of them hot AOC 12 jerseys, baby. Got to get you one of those hot AOC 12s. Now, hey, Robert Davila has something here. He says, Walker won't play all year. He's got issues. Mental health. You watch. Well, Robert, that's the kind of thing that a doctor would have to evaluate and stuff. But for right now, man, what it's looking like, that he will play all season, and that he's a great player, and that the Raiders need him.
And that's all right. We got depth too this year behind him. So if he goes down, we got guys that are stepping up this year. So things we haven't had before. If we had a linebacker that went down a couple years ago, last year, we wouldn't have had nobody. So,
yeah. So, hey, here's another question from Arnie. It says,
Can you hold on 1 second?
Go ahead.
Daddy, did you say depth at linebacker?
depth?
Depth?
No, did I say depth?
Depth.
Oh, I said depth. Yeah. I think we can have depth at linebacker with these guys stepping up. They're talking in Crawford and Eichenberg. These guys step up. We can have the depth there.
Well, Crawford's not a linebacker; he's an edge rusher. But I think that's our biggest weakness on defense. I think that's our biggest weakness on defense. After those two, after Dean and Walker, we got nobody. We got nobody that can step up and give what those two guys can. I think our weakness is our depth at linebacker, because now we're falling back on the Berg boys. I know there's a rookie that's kind of making some noise too, but again, he's still a rookie, so we'll have to see how that plays out. I just think our linebackers don't have depth. I think that's our biggest worry. That's my feeling. I mean, I kind of disagree with you on that. I'm not going to give you shit for it, but I just disagree with the depth on linebacker.
Yeah.
I think we have young players that can step up and make things happen. But again, it's all going to come back to the way that the coaching staff uses these players. I think that, again, we're going to see a lot of stuff different. We're going to see players that we didn't think are starters start in certain games and do certain things for the team. But I'm kind of with you that when you look at the names, we really have 2 top dog linebackers. And after that, it's all guys that they have to prove themselves. It's all guys that they have to show. But Sloan, the UDFA out of Arkansas, has been showing some signs of being that guy, of coming in and being able to be that guy. So it should be interesting to see that linebacker battle, to see guys doing different things, man. Now, hey, finally, guys, Traydon Stukes gets reps with the ones, right? Everybody was saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy was drafted in the 2nd round. He's never gotten reps with the ones. That's a big time deal. Hey, is he just being brought up slowly, where they're trying to teach him and get reps and get him in the flow? Or is it that, hey, he really wasn't that good? I'm going to ask you guys that question. I'm actually going to start with Jeff on this one. Jeff, is it that he's not that good, or is that they're bringing him up slowly?
I think it's they're bringing him up slowly more than likely, it seems like. And good for him. I mean, that's what you expect from a number 2, second round pick. You want to see him have an impact. Now, the day of the draft, the second round, I was sitting in Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh with 805, Severe, Chris from Protect the Shield, Dante from Gridiron. And they called out they're up there, and they're like, in the Raiders select trade on Stukes. And basically, we all kind of went, Stukes? Like, I had no idea who the guy was. They weren't too sure on him. But then we started kind of looking it up as we're sitting there. I'm like, okay, it kind of, I guess, makes sense. But I think everybody had their heart set on grabbing, what's his name from Texas Tech, McDonald, the nose tackle. So when we traded the pick to Houston, they take him. And then all of a sudden we come back with Stukes. It was like kind of a shock at that point. But obviously the kid's a player. He's making waves and he's making a name for himself. So good for him. You want to see, like I said earlier, you want to see these early draft picks, especially a second round. Second rounder should be starting or a heavy, heavy contributor on your roster. And it looks like that's what he's making now. He's making that move into the ones, and good for him. And I hope he continues and he makes the starting roster on that, on the defensive side. Good for him.
All right. Yo, Matty B, is he just bringing around slowly, or is it that he just, couldn't cut the cheese at first?
No, man, he's a rookie, bro. And coming into the NFL is a whole different ball game from college. So, it's he's coming into his own. I was the same way with Jeff when we drafted him. I was kind of taken back a little bit, but I started watching a little bit of his tapes, stuff like that. I was like, he's not a bad player. He's got some good tape. He's got some good upside for him. Like this goes back to everything I've been saying this whole show, man. These rookies that we draft, man, people expect them to jump in, first, second, third rounders, which they should. They should be those guys that you're putting in place to start your franchise, the piece that you need. But they're gonna come with mistakes, man, and flaws. They're not going to be perfect. So you just got to take your time with certain people, man. And some people learn faster than others, So Stukes, I don't think he's behind right now. I think he's right on track. So, we just barely got into off season. So, I mean, it's not like it's, been going on for 7-8 months and he's just now starting to learn it. He's a rookie, bro. He's gonna have those mistakes, man. You just got to give him time, and I think right now that's what it is. It's just little bumps in the road that he's got to get up and get over. So, yeah.
You know what? For me, man, this whole thing with Stukes, I think the coaching staff just has a different way of doing things. They want to bring guys slowly. Look at Fernando Mendoza; he's on the bench. And people are overhyping it that they go like, "Hey, freaking masses out there getting first team reps," of course, because bro, we're desolate in that position. I mean, at corner, we don't have anyone. We were literally looking for people. But when you look at it, they're bringing these guys in slowly because they're rookies. These guys are changing and transitioning from college football over to the NFL. And when you're taking that playbook, bro, it's a lot. And when you play in that 4-2-5 defense and you play in that nickel, they usually call it the star position. And I'll tell you something. That star position is the linchpin spot for that defense because they're vital, because they play that like hybrid linebacker role with the guy that can cover. And they have certain assignments that they have to take things away. So when you look at that, I think Stukes is right, like on time, like you guys are saying. We're bringing him up slowly. We're showing him how to play this game. There's a lot of tendencies that he's going to have to pick up. And there's a lot of things that he has to do. I'd be like, he might even have to adjust coverages in certain manners because of the ways that the formation against him is lined up. So when you look at all those things, it's going to take time. But I think Raider Nation, again, we're so impatient that we believe because the guy's a second-round draft pick that he should automatically start. And that to me, like, hey, it's again, hey, just because your name or you're drafted in a certain position, you shouldn't start. should earn it. And I think that's what Stukes is doing. All right. Hey, just a little information for you guys. Hey, our defense was known for not creating turnovers, for being stale, for not being able to get the ball back. But guys, I'm glad to report that we can get interceptions in practice.
You've been doing that for years.
In practice. Hey, is this a good
We've been doing that in warm-ups.
Hey, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
around Crosby, then you're almost getting cut.
Is this a good sign for the Raiders that we are actually creating turnovers in practice? Or is this just wah, wah, wah? Hey, I'll start with you, Matt.
I mean, it's good that you're getting them, but do you know why you're getting them? Are you in the right position? Is that what you're doing? Like, are you learning? Is that what, you know what I mean? Like, did you put yourself in that position? Did the coach put you in that position, or was it just a lucky play? So it's practice, bro. Like, I want to see it out in the games, man. I want to see us be like one of the top leaders of interceptions this year if they're talking it up so much. You know what I mean? Like, we got to find that second corner at first. You know, we got to figure out who's going to be our second string or our second corner. But in our back end, not just them, it's got to be everybody there. But I want to see a lot of interceptions this year, man. I'm tired of being the bottom barrel of turnovers every year. Man. It sucks. So hopefully they're playing ball, you know, and they're actually learning stuff, and it's going to carry into the game. It's not just some hype playing against each other in some 7-on-7. So,
Jeff, is this a sign for the Raiders to come that we are actually going to get some turnovers this year?
I hope so. I mean, there should be some preseason heroes come out of this secondary that are going to get some interceptions in the preseason. It always happens, you know, but let that continue into the regular season. Don't just be great in preseason. And then once the regular season starts and you finally get out there on that starting D and you can't catch shit or you can't knock balls down. We need ball hawks back there. That's something we haven't had in a long time. Just kind of like what Matt said. You know, it's tied to being at the bottom of the list when you look at interceptions. It's like, damn, you know, like the plus minus ratio on turnovers. Yeah, we're getting some fumbles here and there, but we're getting like on average like half an interception a game, or in some cases getting 0 per game. I mean, I want to see us get, you know, one a game would be nice. You know, just that shows that they're reading the quarterback. They're paying attention. You know, they're putting their body in the right spot. Kind of what Matt just said too. You know, are you playing the ball the right way? Are you playing the receiver the right way? So yeah, it's time to get our secondary back up. You know, back up the par with the rest of these teams in the league, because there's some great corners out there on these other teams. You know, and you see the way they play, and then there's some that aren't that high level type guy, but man, they still make plays. We didn't have that. You know, we have guys that go out there and they look like they're half-assing it. We get burned deep. You know, I think we've got some athletic players back there in the secondary now that may be able to actually step up and, you know, make a serious impact. Like I said, we addressed it in the draft and free agency. We brought in guys that can play. You know, it's just a matter of how well they fit with this system and the other, you know, 10 or, you know, 9 guys on that starting defense. You know, but yeah, it's time for us to, you know, we've had a long history of having good to extremely really good corners on this team. You know, we haven't had steady, consistent corners in a while. So it's time to get back to that again too. So I think we got the makings of some of these too. Yeah, you're getting an ALC 12 jersey.
Yeah, Chino says.
I know you answered
ALC
Mendoza,
12.
but that wasn't one of the options.
He only out here handing the ball off in camp. That's all ALC's out there for.
It's getting paid.
Hey, ain't no lie, freaking getting paid. And 805 had a comment. Hold on real quick. Holy cow. Trying to find here. And he says, hey, I thought that the star position was where Adam Butler played. I must not know much. You know, hey, and Adam, I love the way that he loves Adam Butler, man. And I really do hope that Adam Butler has a great season. But I'm telling you right now, man, I'm excited that Tomka Hemingway is making way because I think Adam Butler needs that co-pilot. I think he needs somebody to play off of. And I think that the only guys that are going to benefit from these guys growing on the inside are going to be Max Crosby on the outside, Coons on the outside, and everybody else. You all benefit from other guys excelling. Now, last but not least, guys, let's get into the DB room. The DB room, man, today, hey, this guy has been making a lot of waves. Jermod McCoy is a rest day for him today. We didn't use him, but he's been getting reps with the ones, the twos, the threes. Now we give him a rest. Is this another guy that we're bringing up slowly that we see that can be possibly a number one guy? Jeff, I'll start with you.
I think it was to kind of be expected, to be honest with you. We didn't take him just to take him. The fact that he fell to round 4, this is a guy that should have been, in the early stages of round 1 if he didn't have that injury, because he played that well, in 2024. They didn't see him in 2025. So I think this is, again, I keep saying this, low risk, extremely high reward with this kid. This kid is a baller. If you watch anything from, some of his highlights and such, I mean, the kid can play. And I think it's great. And I don't blame them for taking their time, because they obviously took him for a reason. They knew that he was going to turn out to be something. So, yeah, they're taking it slow. Again, like Matt said earlier, we're only 7 days into training camp. So the fact that some of these guys are breaking in with the ones already, that speaks volumes so early in training camp. If this was the last week and then they're finally getting consistent practice with the twos and ones every now and then, that's different. But we're 7 days in, 6 days in, 7 days into this training camp, and some of these guys that were drafted this year are already making waves on the good side of making waves. So I think it only bodes well for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's another one of these guys that could be a key contributor. There's a lot of guys that we drafted this year that could have a serious impact, whether they're starting or they're rotational guys that bring something to the table. So this could turn out to be a pretty damn good draft class. In the long run, when you look back at it 3 years from now, it all depends on how many of these guys make the roster and stay with the team for the next 3 years. That speaks volumes also. So I'm impressed with the kid. I think this kid could be on to, have a great career in the NFL as long as he stays healthy. That's it. Every player, as long as they stay healthy. And by the way, 805, I think Butler would look good in Tampa Bay red and pewter. So just letting you know that.
Hey, oh man, he's talking about the Vita Vea trade. We're gonna talk that one last. But Matty B, Jermod McCoy, hey, rest day. I'd be like breaking in with the ones and the twos. Are we taking him slow? What do you think?
Yeah, you're taking him slow, man. He's coming off a major knee injury. He fell to us. He was supposed to be a, 1 to 2, one top 1 to 2 round pick, so it's good that we got him, but we got to take it easy with him. We got to make sure that knee is healthy. If we want to make sure he wants to be one of those impact players like we're talking about, we got to make sure his knee's healthy. It's good to go. You go out there and you just throw him out there and keep, not giving him them rest days or anything like that, he's bound to hurt himself again.
And just real quick, Leo's post too. Kid's only 20 years old.
Yeah. He's a young cat, bro. He can't even drink alcohol yet.
Yeah, he's one of the youngest players on this roster. I mean, this is a kid that could have a long career with us.
Mm-hmm.
So just could be there for 10 to 15 years with no problem.
Make sure that fucking knee gets healed, man. That's all we need to worry about right now for that guy. It don't even matter if he's running with the ones or the twos. 100%. Make sure that fucking knee is done and healthy before you put him out there at all.
Yep. Hey, I'm right there with you guys, man. This is where I look at McCoy. If he is that type of talent, let's do the right thing for him and the right thing for the Raiders. Let's play the long game. We need longevity out of this kid. We don't need him for 1 season. Hell, we don't even need him for 2. We need him for 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
If we can get this kid ready and keep him going, man, we will have a talent drafted in the 4th round. In the 4th round. And he might be around for the next decade, the next couple of years, shutting down people. And that's going to be well worth the investment.
I think round 4 is our spot. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think round 4 is our spot where we hit our players.
Agreed.
Yeah, he could be the Max Crosby of our secondary. A guy who's grabbing the 4th round, and you're not expecting them to be. But this kid, you're expecting him to be better than what everybody's thinking because of what his overall potential was. Max Crosby wasn't highly touted coming out of college and such.
100%.
You know, he was picked in the 4th round for a reason. McCoy was picked in the 4th round because there was so many questions on his knee in that past injury. So yeah, he fell, and it's understandable why he fell. So I mean, you got a pick in the 4th round with the talent and full ability to have been a 1st round pick easily. Easily should have been probably one of the top corners taken in this draft if he didn't have that injury. You know, so I mean, you're getting a guy that your future relies on this type of kid. Again, he's 20 years old. This is a kid that could be around for almost 15 years. He could be what Charles Woodson should have been, a Raider for life, never go to another team, and be successful his entire career, retire a Raider type of guy. You know,
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for us to have some guys that retire from now. You know, guys that we watched drafted that are playing for the Raiders for life that we get to watch. You know, get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Like, that's what I want to see, man. I'm tired of, you know, yeah, we get guys that go to the Hall of Fame, but you know, they come from other teams and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're our guys. You know, so that's what I want to see. I want to see a guy stay with the Raiders, finish his whole career, and then go into the Hall of Fame. You know, a couple of them.
Yeah. Our boy 805 says, don't you put that out there, Jeff. I'll tell everyone in Vegas not to let you in opening weekend.
good luck, because I'll be like a steamroller still running over people to get inside. So ain't gonna happen.
Wait.
Yeah, I've already been called a heavyweight tonight, so Will already called me fat. So
Oh, no, man. Hey,
it's like a heavyweight. That's just the same thing as calling me fat. So I don't want
no, bro.
body shaming. Leo, you hear this? He's body shaming me.
Hey, man. But we talked about McCoy, but I love that Leo just said this. And hey, man, Masses continues to shine. Multiple reports came out today that he is like a fucking blanket on these receivers. That he's breathing the same oxygen as these guys. That he's going out there and doing big time things. Says Masses is the steal of the draft for us. Guys, what do you guys think about this when you hear about Masses, a 6th round draft pick coming out and making, or a 5th round or 6th? Yeah, 5th or 6th? 6th. Yep. Hey, 6th round pick going out there and making waves for the Raiders. Matt, I'll start with you. You're a defensive backs coach. What do you think, man?
I think it's good, man. My thing is how good is our receiving core? Like you guys were talking about earlier, is our receiving core that good or is it that bad? So I mean,
you know what? You're onto something there. Now that I think about it, after you just said that, like the secondary is looking great, but shit, I never thought about that. Our wide receivers not that great either. So,
I want to see
you cut that one.
I want to see them get out there, man. I want to see these guys, these rookies, bro. I want to see them get out onto a game. You know what I mean? Like in practice, you can look good in practice. I got kids that look good in practice, and I put them in the game, and I'm like, holy shit, it's not even the same kid. So you know what I mean? Like like it happens, bro. It's 7 days into our off season or our workouts and shit. You know, so we're seeing people shine in spots that we haven't seen shine because we've been bad in those spots. So, I mean, if this kid is what people are saying, I want to see him up against some of these other guys. I want to see him up against Devontae Adams. I want to see him up against these dudes, you know? Like, I don't want to see him up against Jack Besh. You know what I mean? So, that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? I want to see these kids play in a real game before I start saying, yeah, these dudes, this is it. He's our steal of the draft, you know, because Stukes could be the steal of the draft. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know until you get out there and play.
Jeff?
You got me laughing on that. That was a good take. That was awesome. But it's true. It's true. The biggest thing is you got to think now, too. And you know what? Damn you for hitting it on the head on that one, too. That was perfect. I wasn't really even thinking about that. It's like our corners, you know, everybody is hyping all these corners and everything. But then you're like, shit, one of our weaknesses is a crappy wide receiver room. Wait a minute. So really, how good are these guys? So, and you're right. So let's see what happens when we play a preseason game. First of all, to see how good these guys are against a 2, you know, or a 3 first against, you know, other teams in full contact, you know, playing regular rules, not just, you know, grab assing out there, not tackling guys, you know. So, I mean, there's a level of practice where it's here and then there's the game level. So there's that variance difference too. But getting back to Masses, I mean, this is a guy that I still remember a lot of content creators, myself included, when we were doing mock drafts, that name always came up, Masses. Even Malik Benson was another guy that would come up and we would draft later in a lot of these mock drafts. Masses was one that was always there later in the draft, usually around 5th and 6th round. So did we draft him right where we probably should have? Yeah. If he contributes as a 6th round pick, and this goes back again to what I said about guys contributing from this draft class, he's making a name for himself out there. So he's showing that, hey, I'm not a practice squad guy. I'm not a 53-man roster cut guy. I'm a guy that's going to make this team. I've got all the ability in the world to be out there and compete. So I again, it's another guy that I have a lot of faith in that can be long-term with this team. That's a late round pick. Just think of the value you're getting grabbing these guys late in the draft. You're not paying them a shit ton of money. That's number one. You're getting great product from them for what you're paying them. But remember, comes time, if these guys are as good as they are, or what they pan out to be, we're going to have some expensive contracts coming up in the next few years. You know, so that's one thing to also keep in mind. Some of these guys are going to play themselves into such a high profile role that we may not be able to keep some of these guys. So remember that too, folks. Don't forget, in 4 years, we're going to have a lot of decisions to make from this class. You know, of some of these guys that are looking good and making a name for themselves now. So I'm happy for the kid. I'm happy for all these guys, you know, making a name for themselves in a good way. And again, I take the hype or the good word coming out of camp a lot different this year than last year. So I'm excited for him. I hope he does make it. I really do. But we'll see next week when we play we get the Cardinals next week, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we can see, if Carson Beck starts next week, they're going to be throwing the ball because he had some great passes out there today. Granted, I know it's preseason, you know, they've only been in camp for a couple of weeks or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still an NFL game, preseason or not. These are still professional athletes. They're there for a reason. None of us are there. We can talk about it all we want, but these are professional athletes playing a football game. So the speed is still going to be fast. So let's see how they do next week against a Cardinal team that obviously is going to throw the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how our secondary does. And it's also going to be interesting to see how our front line does, putting pressure on Carson Beck too.
No, absolutely, man. And I'm with you guys, man. I think that Mass is doing things in practice that it's awesome, right? But I think like it's all about what happens in a game. Who cares about what happens in practice? Because we already know that our wide receiver room is weak. It's not the best room. So when we have those types of things, we have to look at that and evaluate that. And I can't but agree 100% with Matt. We literally have to see what happens on the field. And Cheeto says, watch your mouth about Jeff or about Max, Jeff. Hater. Says, hey, make sure that y'all subscribe to my page as well, man. Please, if you guys come over, if you guys are on Jeff's page, please hit that like, share, subscribe
posting
button.
the link for you. It's in my description on my channel too. So I did It's pinned at the top of my chat, and every now and then I've been posting the link in the chat too. So
thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate that, guys. And Cheeto, I appreciate you as well, man. Always trying to promote the channel, always trying to help out a brother. This is what it's all about, guys. Guys, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you guys for coming on, man. I appreciate you guys. And Jeff, thank you so much, man. I know that a lot of guys don't know, but Jeff has been kind of showing us the ropes about YouTube and how to use this and how do I do the stuff and do the shows and get the word out there. So we really appreciate it, man. Me and Maddie B have always been paying attention to what's going on, and we try to grow and we try to do bigger and better things. So Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the show, my brother. We appreciate you, big dog.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome. No, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I know you mentioned it the other day. I'm like, why would I want to come on with you? I was just kidding. You know that.
Yeah, right.
Normally I'm on tonight on Thursday
nights. For me, dude.
Yeah. I did it because of Matt. It wasn't because of Will. Normally I'm on Thursday nights with Nate, and Nate's got prior commitment today. He's got the practice he's going to tomorrow, and he's got people at his house. So we just weren't going to be able to do the show, and I wasn't going to do it solo. So I'm like, you know what? Let me hit up Will. If you want me to come on, I'll come on. So, and just real quick, look what came in the mail yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Dawn ordered it for me. So I got my book for New York when we see Phil, so I can get him to sign this. So I'm psyched. I'm going to start reading it in the next few days. I'm not taking it with me on the trip, though. I'm not reading on the plane. I can't do that. Yeah. But no, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on. So I will be on tomorrow night. My No Huddle NFL, all NFL talk on Friday nights. And I'll be back on Saturday night with Jason Downs with our Raider Nation Voices. And I've got a new show starting on Monday. It's going to be a bi-weekly or maybe once a month, but Monday night will be the premiere for it. It's 10 o'clock Monday evening, Eastern time. It's called the AFC West Fools. Right now, it's 3 of us. There's myself for the Raiders, there's a Broncos guy, and there's a Chargers guy. And it's not going to be a typical, shirt and tie stuffy talk about, well, I think your team should be. No, it's going to be ball busting. It's going to be making fun of each other's team. The lack of Chargers fans, even in existence. The fact that they have no Super Bowl trophies. It's going to be shit like that. Bo Nix's ankles rough, Peyton's socks, all that crap. So it's not going to be, all lovey-dovey type talk. It's going to be making fun of each other and having some fun at the same time. So, no, it's going to be nothing like stuffed shirt, Wild Wild West type show. It's not going to be all serious talk. So, you guys in the chat, my Raider fans that follow me, when you guys are in the chat, oh, dude, all bets are off on that one. So, have fun with it. But just don't be disrespectful. That's all I ask. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good show. So, and that's why we're not going to do it every single week because it's a lot. So, but you'll see us. We'll be having some fun. But thank you guys again. I appreciate you having me on. And as I always say, stay safe. Go Raiders.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, you guys see the post right over here? It says AFC West Fools, baby. Premiering debut Monday, August 10th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys log into our boy 401 Raider Jeff's chat and start talking that shit to those Charger fans, those Broncos fans, and right now they don't even have a KC guy. So whoever wants to represent KC, they have an open seat for those suckers too.
We're taking auditions, so that's going to be the whole running joke on the show too.
Do you find the only fan for the Chargers or what?
Yeah, he's one of I think 3 in existence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, they got more. They got they got as many fans as we have Super Bowl trophies. So,
hey, Big Luck's gonna be there for you, Jeff. So, hey, we know that Big Luck will be there. But hey, guys, thank you guys so much for locking in. I appreciate you guys, man. We'll see you guys next week. And until next time, man, it's all about one nation. It's all about one team. It's all about the Raiders.